So, mayong hapon sa tanan. Okay. By the way, this research is one of, I would say that this research is one of my personal endeavor because this is based on experience. This is an experience that I experienced from my father who was a tad-tad before. Are you familiar with tad-tad? Yeah, he was a tad-tad before, but again, I'm going to share the story here because it is something to do with the story of Ating Kublan. Again, before I'm going to have a proper discussion on Ating Kublan narrative, I would like to ask this question. In Cebuano's popular culinary, what famous food in Cebu that is famous for kubal? In Cebu, what famous culinary in Cebu that is famous for kubal? Okay, very good. Lechon, di ba? Lechon became lechon became yummy because of the kubal. So again, we're going to discuss that one. What is the connection of kubal to lechon as well as Ating Kublan? So the Ating Kublan narrative, the role of anting-anting and nagimat in shaping our awareness of local heroes from the literary historical account. Prior to the stories of Darna in the 1970s, or some of the Hollywood movies that involve based on the Marvel's account, like for example, we have the story of Superman or Batman. In Cebu, we have an old story that has the same category with those Hollywood structured superheroes. We have the story of Ating Kublan. So this will be the content of my discussion, so introduction, the origin of the narrative based on the writings of Jose Cabrera, the literary accounts of the 1898 Revolution, because again, these are all connected to the 1898 Revolution, synopsis of the story, the nature of the narrative, and its historical significance, and then the origin, and the last one, we have the conclusion. So, as what I have said, based on my own experience, during the 1980s, the issue in Cebu became in the 1980s, right after EDSA, became the center of a more dramatic problems that faced by the society during that time. Cebu became the tad-tad capital. Although we know that tad-tad are not originated from Cebu because it came from Mindanao, but tad-tad was able to penetrate Cebu, particularly in the city of Talisay. So that is why in Talisay, for example, from 1987 to 1990, Talisay became the killing fields. So if you're going to scan some of the newspapers from the 1986, from Freeman or other local or national magazines, you will find out that the term killing fields is attributed to Talisay. And I would say that one of the original members of the tad-tad was my father. My father was a tad-tad. He joined the tad-tad because during the time our family was among those who were hunted down by the Sparrow unit of the NPA. So NPA able to penetrate in Cebu as early as before the 1986. Then they have concentration in the mountain barangays of Toledo, Naga, Minglanilla, and Talisay. And my father, who was then working as the personal bodyguard of the mayor, Mayor Diliacho during that time, he was hunted down because of his close collaboration with the former mayor. And there are two important events that happened in his life that I always, during the time, I keep on questioning. Because according to the narratives that I learned from my father and some of his friends, ang akong papa, kaduha gipusil. Una, gipusil sa shotgun, pero wala dotli. Kublan. Di ba? Kublan. Ang ikaduha, gipusil siya og Armalite. Pero wag yapon siya dotli, kublan. So nangutana ko, I asked him, ngano di makamadotlan? According to him, the story of Kublan, which he imbibed from the tad-tad, because this is what we call a mixture of a more localized version, was actually from the story of Ating Kublan, because it was found out that the founder or the president of the tad-tad in Talisay was actually a follower of the cult of Kublan in Talisay. So like for example, if you're going to visit Lagtang, there is a story circulated in Lagtang that the that the Dragon Teeth or the World War II defense, it was said that it was constructed by Ating Kublan. So, the narrative, again, it has something to do with this one. So, for example, the number one followers of the Tadtad in Talisay were the Cabrera, the Caneda, Canton, and Alinio families, in which for them, the story of Ating Kublan is not just a fictitious story written by Jose Cabrera, but a true account of the real Talisaynons who had exceptional abilities that resisted Spanish hostility and led the Dos de Abril Revolution of 1898. So, question is, unsa din story sa Ating Kublan or about the Kublan story? So, the writer, by the way, was Jose Cabrera. Jose Cabrera was a school teacher and writer for Bagong Kusog and a descendant of Silvestre Cabuenas, who was the Ating Kublan. The Ating Kublan was the great-grandfather of Jose Cabrera, who was Silvestre Cabuenas. So, he published all the narratives or the stories that circulated before the Second World War into writings that was published by the Bagong Kusog. Ang title kay Manuklogong Kinabuhi ni Ating Kublan. It runs from April to May. So taas jud siya. So the Tale of Ating Kublan was first created as a piece of literature in 1934. The Bagong Kusog publication owned by Don Vicente Rama. So why is that Jose Cabrera was able to have a clear stories and he collected all these stories? Because again, he was the grandfather. Silvestre Cabuenas was the great-grandfather. At the same time, some of the members of the Cabrera also were the original followers of Ating Kublan. Then from being follower of Ating Kublan, they also followed the Tadtad in the later part of the 1980s. So what is the synopsis of the story? Again, the story of Ating Kublan, by the way, is not endemic to Talisay, but rather it is a very common stories throughout Cebu. For example, Balamban, they have the story of Kublan, which refers to the Gonzales who fought against the Spanish tyranny. And even in Danao, there is one barangay in Danao in which they can trace that there is also a Kublan there who was also a local hero of Danao during the 1898 revolution. So in Talisay, the story of Ating Kublan is based on the story of Ating, Silvestre Ating Cabuenas, and Eladio Fernandez. So Silvestre Ating Cabuenas and Eladio Fernandez, these were one of the organizers of the revolution in 1898 in Talisay. They were the co-contemporaries of Potenciano Alenios, they were the Macario Canton, and in the writings of Jose Cabrera, Cabrera, to make sure that the story of Ating Kublan, which is somehow not in the realm of history, it is not sound historical. He put real people in the revolutions to make the story somehow connected to history, in which he connect the story to the revolution of 1898. So, the nature of the narrative and its historical significance. Again, the story of Ating Kublan, it's centered in the story of the 1898 revolution. So, you can have here the Manggugubot. These were the old names for revolutionaries. So, the revolutionary during the time, they were called Manggugubot. Manggugubot, which means they were steerer of gubot, di ba? So, namoy mga lolo, Manggugubot, pasabot, they were revolution. So, Ating Kublan was member of the revolution. Then, the outcome of the Manggugubot as a person was to succeed in the revolution of 1898. That is why we have the revolution in 1898, because these were the starting point of the adventure, or shall we say adventure, because some of them, according to, for example, the writing of Narciso Canton, some revolutionaries, so Manggugubot, joined the revolution because they want to experience how to be, they want to experience how to use the guns, or at the same time, how to be more involved with the conflict between the Spaniards and the Americans. So at the same time, there are also another stories that's still connected with Ating Kublan, the story of the Alinio. It was written by Narciso Canton, who was the contemporary of Jose Cabrera, ang mahinuklogong kaagi sa kinabuhi ni Alinio. So the Alinio, they were the contemporaries of Ating Kublan. So pareha lang silang naong tanan. Kumuha mong talisay, parehag naong tanan because we don't have actual photo of the Alinio. So nayoban, murag unggoy yun, di ba? Then the origin of the anting-anting, because it has something to do with the story. So when we speak of Ating Kublan, the story of Ating Kublan has something to do with anting-anting. Ating Kublan used the anting-anting, used the metaphor of this supernatural prowess from his experience in Lagtang. Because before the revolution, it was found out that the revolutionaries or the Manggugubat, they were, before the revolutions, some of the members actually informed the Guardia Civil that there were Talisaynos who were wanted to clandestinely founded a revolution that would topple the Spanish authorities in Talisay. Nadakpan ni sila, nasakpan, but the two of them, Eladio and Silvestre Cabuenas, went to Lagtang in the mountain barangays, and it was there that they received the power of the Diwata. It was there that they received. That is why, gitawag siya, Ating Kublan, because he received the power of the Diwata in Lagtang, in which, during the 1898 revolution, the same with the story of my father, he was also shot 2 times by the loyalist Guardia Civil from Minglanilla, the Villordon. But, kung sa may naitabo, ang bala, wala ka, naigo siya, pero kublan man siya, di ba? Kubol. Then we have Tagubot sa Sugbo in April 3, 1898. Again, it has something to do with other local heroes that also have the attributes of a supernatural power. Then we have Leon Kilat. Why is that Leon Kilat is called Leon Kilat? Pantaleon Villegas. Because this is the nom de guerre of them, in which abtik man daw siya, pero wali daog-daog. Muna dyan ka-daog. Then, in conclusion, actually, I tried to put the nom de guerre in the story of the Ating Kublan because having the name, for example, having the name or the nom de guerre name is also connected to your power or connected to your supernatural prowess. So, among the Cebuano leaders during the Spanish Revolution was important for several reasons. It provided, number one, protection from colonial authorities, kaya di makamailan. Then it also promoted unity among leaders of the revolutionaries because all of them, the leaders, they have their own nom de guerre. For example, Pantaleon Villegas, Kilat, Don Patriciano Alinio, he was known as Tupas, or Putin, which means powerful. Then Don Macario Canton, also known as Unos, or Typhoon. Then the last one, we have Silvestre Cabuenas de Zia, is also known as Ating Kublan, which means invincible. And we have also Silvestre Caneda, also known as Bitring Muda. So to close my presentation, it is very important for us to understand that names of the heroes, particularly during the revolution, they are not being chosen by the heroes because it has no meanings. It has meanings because they are connected to their supernatural endeavor. That's all. Thank you.